Made it to Adrian, Texas, the Midpoint Cafe. There's that sign. In a minute. This is the Midpoint. Adrian, Texas. Midpoint Cafe, Motel, and a new gas station that's just been opened up, I heard. I say new, it's an old gas station now that it's back in function. It's cool. I didn't even see that. Midpoint US 66. Ain't been long resprayed those signs. Welcome to New Mexico. Not too far down the road from the Midpoint Cafe. If you're at the Midpoint Cafe, be sure and check out the gas station. A couple from Ohio's opened that up last year, so give them some love as well. So US Route 66 right after that town in New Mexico. Interesting. San John, New Mexico. Route 66 out this way is very spotty. We ended up on a very interesting section of it a while ago. Ended up heading back to 40. Finally come to a sign that said local traffic only, so I'm like, okay, maybe that's my hint. Got a motel down here. Got some old cars sitting around in these town trucks. Got a lot of old abandoned places. And some of these towns will really hit a lot harder by the bypassing of 66 than others. And here we have the world's largest flip-flop. And we have a gift shop. So a lot of that stuff is kind of coming back a little bit, which is good. A lot of opportunities along this road now for people to retire or strike it rich and do the Route 66 thing. So it's real cool. Welcome to Tucumcari, New Mexico, everybody. Can't believe I'm actually here seeing this place in person. Tucumcari, I would love to see this place lit up at night. Maybe on the way back we can do that. We'll see. Absolutely wonderful. So these rooms have garages where you park your car. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. This is just unbelievable.
Here so far.
As far as motels and just overall, like lost in the 50s,
yes.
I think this town takes the cake.
Yeah.
Another old motel. This one here looks alive and well as well. Hard to beat the Blue Swallow though. Really nice guy too. Stop in and see him. We got a couple t-shirts. He recommended some places on down the drag to stay. Their old bowling alley, I don't know if it's still open or not. I can't really tell.
Oh wow, that's gorgeous. Wow.
The big city of Newkirk. Route 66. in New Mexico and 40's backed up and don't look like it's moving, you do a little off-roading. Nobody would believe this, so here's the proof. Google Maps let us around the backup, and we are literally in the middle of nowhere. And we didn't have to go through areas where we had to basically grind the car against these bushes to miss a big hole that looked like mud, because I don't have four-wheel drive, of course. Route 66. This ain't really Route 66, but maybe this is an old alignment from the 1920s. Who knows? Because this is about what it looked like. So we are now in mountain time. It's 8 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock back home. Stopped here at this place called Lisa's Diner to get something to eat. Not a lot open out here on a Sunday evening. But buddy, I'm gonna tell you something. We got ourselves in a situation earlier. We had 6 or 7 miles of, I'm gonna call it Route 0.6, because it was more of a bicycle path than a road. And I don't know if it was an old cut through of Route 66 back in the 20s or the 30s. Kind of followed the same path, but just tried to get away from the huge backup. But car took an absolute beating. It is filthy. I drug the side of it with some branches there, so hopefully I didn't scratch nothing, but it was no turning around. We had to keep going, so just thank the Lord we made it. You see that right there? That's the route we was on, the wagon trail route. Welcome to Albuquerque. Okay, so I wanted to do a follow-up with that short little video clips. The first video clip was not that bad of it all. It was an old tar and gravel road we ended up on, old 66. Think nothing of that. We have roads like that where we live. I go on from time to time just because I can. The next time we ended up outside this little bitty podunk spot in the road with a little bitty post office and a gas station. Right down the street, the traffic on I-40, I don't know what had happened, that was working on it or something, and right there is no Route 66. Separately, it's Route 66 and I-40. Of course, that 30 years ago they took the shields off 40. Like here, I say here, where we live in South Carolina, it would be Highway 29 and Interstate 85. The shields are on the sign. We was looking at a couple different routes. The other route was like way out of the way and around, so we looked up a Google map that said avoid highways, which is what we do a lot of the times anyway. And it's like, okay, like 8 or 10 miles and we're right back to avoiding wherever we was going. Little did I know, this road, we started out on it and it was kind of tar and gravel. Well, it never did become quite a dirt road. I haven't seen any of that. It was an old tar and gravel path. I don't know how old. The power lines ran maybe 20, 30 feet to the right of where we were at. And we just kept on going. And the road got narrower and narrower and narrower. And there was a car at some point come out on the road. I don't know if they thought about turning around or what they did, because there was no really where they could have come from. They just came out of nowhere. It was like a red Buick modern. A neighbor of mine's got one just like it actually. And so we were able to kind of follow them. They were way ahead of us. Then there was this couple, I say couple, a couple ladies in the car behind us from California that I later talked to. They said they seen me go down that road and they figured I knew what I was doing. Obviously, they didn't see the license plate on the back of my car that said South Carolina Antique Auto. Why you would think a car like that would need to be on a road like this? There was some very close calls. There was an area where we went like it was muddy. I didn't know how deep the mud was, if it was 2 inches or if it was 2 feet. And it was very dippy. I had to drag the car against some cedar bushes to get by. There was another place where the road was really rutted out, so I had to like ride the car up on the high points to kind of get it by. My Capri sits pretty high off the ground, thankfully. So that definitely helped. But all my air had ended up, since I've left home, all my air's gone out of my air shocks. So the back's a little saggy, but not bad. Sitting more at factory height. There was also another place where there was a huge hole where the road had washed out and someone had stuffed old tires down in it. So you had to get over on one side. There was still plenty of room for a car or even a bigger truck to pass through. But one thing I want to say, I just want to tell the story, and then when we got to the end and they pulled up beside me and I said, that's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever done. And once we got to that point where it looked like we couldn't make it through, my wife said, turn around. I said, there is no turning around. There was nowhere to turn around. I mean, I guess I could have backed up, a quarter of a mile and tried to find a place in between the bushes because the ground was high on each side. But the grass was high enough where and there was enough bushes where you couldn't comfortably ride on the side of the road. Who knows what would be over there? You sure don't want to tear anything up, blow a tire, anything where we were at. Who knows how many hours it would take for a tow truck or service to get to you. So what I wanted to say is this. Out in this area, especially people like myself, you don't know this area. It is not like the East. There are roads, they are not paved. I wouldn't necessarily say they're uncharted because a lot of them have signs and whatnot, but just be very, very careful. We were very fortunate today. The Lord was with us, and I want to make that very clear. There was a couple of times I didn't know how that was going to go. I was also afraid of getting down and there being some road washed out, and then we would have been stuck or had to try to turn around. So with that being said, just be very careful out here in the West for you people back east that are not familiar with this type of thing. I guess just suck it up on the traffic jam. Don't get on a road that is not paved. So be careful about that. With that being said, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. There'll be more videos from 66 and an undisclosed, as of right now, location coming in Utah. See y'all soon.